Hey Seminole family, thank you for joining me for another video devotion. Today I want to talk about temptation. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, "The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience, and God is faithful. He will not allow the temptations to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure." This is an encouraging verse. That's the good news about temptation. When God is with us, He promises to provide a way out. When we're tempted, He's our counselor. He is for us. He promises to help us if we let Him. There are several things about this verse. First, it says that temptations are common. They are common to man. We all have the same problems. And if there are some common problems, it means there must be common solutions. And they're in the Word of God. Then it says that God is with me when I'm being tempted. He's right there with me when I'm being tempted. Now that's a motivation for me to not give in. When I realize that God is right here watching me, that's a motivation to resist the temptation. Look, being tempted is not a sin. Jesus was tempted and He never sinned. It's when we act on those temptations that we sin. God knows exactly the struggle going on in my mind, and He's pulling for me. He's preparing an escape route. He sees it coming before I see it coming, and He knows I'm walking right into it, and He's already preparing an escape route for me to get out of it. It's not just my willpower, but it's His power, and He's promised to help me. That's good news. When I'm tempted, God is my counselor. He gives me advice. He knows what I need to do, and He promises to help me out. No matter what the temptation is that I face this next week at home or at work or at church or at school, God is there. He's with me in that temptation. Job 13:27 says it this way, "You, God, keep a close watch on all my paths." Because God is everywhere, He sees everything. There was a song that came out a couple of years ago, several years ago. It says, "No one knows what goes on behind closed doors." Well, surprise, God knows. There's no such thing as a locked door to God. You can't lock Him in, and you can't lock Him out. He's everywhere. It's no big surprise to Him. He's there. He can see everything that's going on in my life. So I must be aware of His presence. It's so much easier to control yourself when you know other people are watching. Have you noticed that in your life? When people watch us, that's a motivation. Well, God is always watching you. So when I'm tempted, He's my counselor. He says, "I'm making a way out. I'll help you if we'll just rely on Him. He's there to help us out." When I'm aware of God's presence, it helps me to maintain more control. When you're tempted, are you seeking Him? Are you looking for His way out? He promises to provide one. That's good news. Listen, thank you for joining me today. As your pastor, I want you to know I'm praying for you. I hope you have a great day.